Welcome everyone to our second edition of the Battery MBA introduction webinars. I'm very excited to have you, even if it's now on live or on demand, and I know there's a lot of interest, and we're very excited about that. Today I'm lucky enough not to be by myself. I actually got a wonderful person next to me. And I want to start introducing maybe quickly Shabani. Shabani is part of Battery Associates and really working out on the strategy and also being quite heavily involved in the Battery MBA herself. She also got an MBA, or she got two masters, if I remember correctly, which is a ample of qualification here to really help us on this as well. And maybe you want to just say a few words about yourself before we go to the next part.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Can't see you all, but I hope you all are doing good. So first of all, a disclaimer, I'm pretty sick today, so pardon my voice. I might have to need Simon while I speak, but yeah, so I'll try. So about me, I'm based in Munich, Germany, so where Simon is as well. And currently I'm in India for a vacation for my sister's wedding. So, so I'm currently in Germany. I was in France before. I had done my master's from France. So my background is a bit technical into IT. So not from battery, and but then I did my business master's, and right now I'm working mainly in innovation, strategy, project management, and so on. And I'm with Battery Associates since the last 1.5 months. So it's doing great, and I'm going to speak to you more throughout the session. So looking forward to it.
Thank you, Bunny, and especially because I know you're a bit sick at the moment, and such a trooper. I try to persuade you to not, if you don't want to do it, but you were like, I want to be part of this. So I'm very grateful to have you on this webinar. Quick word about myself. I think most people here watching this probably know me to some degree or another. My name is Simon. I did my PhD on lithium-ion batteries at the University of Cambridge. I've been in the battery space for, 5 years actively, I would say 5-6 years. I've been UC Berkeley before that, at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, and had a ample of experience there, which was fantastic. Also, I've been part of a few initiatives. One is the World Economic Forum Global Future Council on Energy Technologies, and the strategic intelligence I was curating for the last 2 years. And actually, interesting enough, one of our speakers today, it's one of the people I met through that. So very grateful for these kind of different platforms I've been involved with over the past few years. And so just from the structure today, we're going to start off by talking about just quickly about Battery Associates, because I think there might be a few people here who haven't heard about us yet. So I think it's just fair to give you a bit of a background. And then I will give it to Shabani to talk about the Battery MBA, which is, of course, the main reason many of you are here today. And then, of course, not to forget, we've got an amazing speaker lined up. Very excited for him to be on. And you will hear from him a bit later as well. Okay, just a few words about Battery Associates. Battery Associates has three main components. You could say three pillars. We've got a network, we've got a consultancy and recruiting platform. A network, we've got incredible people from all around the world. You have, essentially every company or organization you can think of represented to some degree by some of the members, which is really fantastic. You can just go on the website, sign up, and there's a procedure. You get interviewed by ambassadors, etc. It's a wonderful community. It's very supportive. It's a really dedicated community to try to do a change in the world to the better. And very grateful for this network. We got consultancy. We got really exciting things coming up here. From companies, organizations like NASA approaching us to or like the contractors approaching us to big OEMs, the World Bank, and governments. And Barney and my team knows there's a lot of really exciting things going on in the consultancy space at the moment. So also always happy to help anyone here in the world who needs help with batteries and really wants to make a change. And then recruiting, you have seen an announcement with Tesla Berlin, most likely, was it Tuesday or something this week, with the aim to build the biggest battery production in the world next to Berlin. And they're not the only ones. There's a lot of kind of a race at the moment. And as someone who did the battery PhD, I know there's a quite limited supply on the one hand, on the other hand, quite a big demand on the other hand. And so we want to help people to to find their place in this world, come from PhDs, find a fantastic job opportunity, etc. So always happy to talk to companies, individuals about opportunities on either end. And just a quick word about our mission. Our mission is to create a sustainable world through the power of people and battery innovation. And one thing we should really, I want to personally highlight that it's really about the people. We are called Battery Associates for a reason, not Battery Association. A company can join us as members, but like our core thinking is that it's all about individuals and about people. If you think about any company, you think of any government, of any organization, at the end of the day, it's just a bigger group of people. So we really believe in, people is the crucial part of this transition. And that's something we want to support in many different levels, from educational approaches, like what we do with BatteryMBA and some battery courses, but also really, on the recruiting, on the consultancy, on the network. And in the end of the day, it's all about connecting people. And yeah, of course, battery innovation is our bread and butter. So of course it has to be in there. And I'm very grateful actually to Bani. She wrote this one. So it's nice that you're on today. Great, one of these great things Bani's doing in our organization. Just a quick thing about the structure, because we've been growing quite quickly. We grew to over 50 people in the last month. So it's exciting times. Just to get a bit of a feel for this. You see myself up here, I got Chief of Staff. I'm going to introduce you in a second. We've got a fantastic advisory board, high-level supporters, partners, a team, supporters, community managers, scouts, ambassadors, members, and company members. So yeah, it's quite a thing. It's become quite an organization, but it all makes sense, and very grateful for everyone involved. Just a quick slide about the team. You can see Bani already here. Amandine is also in the background. She's really helpful now. She's pressing the buttons in a second. So very grateful for her to do this today. I don't have to do it myself. We got wonderful Chief of Staff, Amandine, as I mentioned. We've been working together almost, we started about a year ago on a YouTube documentary on climate change. So it has been quite a journey together, and I'm extremely grateful for her to being involved. We got Shabani now, as we mentioned, on strategy and the BatteryMBA, and Lena also really is helpful for content. And you see we're pushing out a lot of things, so the entire team is quite busy on publishing amazing pieces all the time. And you can see it looks maybe slightly different in normal engineering companies, something I'm also very proud of, and we are taking big stride and trying to also have some change here on the gender equality front. Okay, and then you got two fantastic community managers, Bharath and Srikant. Funny enough, actually, we did a battery day about 2 months ago, pretty much exactly, probably 8 weeks and 2 days now. And it was really the kickstart. It was one day after Tesla Battery Day, we did our battery day. And it's been a lot of attention. We had over 750 signups on LinkedIn within 4 days. And it's been really the starting kickoff point for this entire operation. And Bharath and Srikant actually have been the two people after this event who have been the most persistent to tell me they really want to be involved in whatever way possible. And yeah, that's how we started the ambassador program. Then, we have so many ambassadors now, we need community managers. So we asked who wants to do it, and they were like the first again to say, put the hand up. So very grateful for the two of them. They've been really instrumental for our journey so far. And yeah, we got ambassadors all around the world. We got people like Mariano working, for over 20 years at Seat and Audi, setting up the factories in Spain. We have people like Alex working on Jaguar Land Rover, but also being from Zimbabwe and being involved in the lithium mining and ethical mining. We're doing some really exciting work there too. Srinath working all around Wyman, strategy, really, really instrumental for all of our strategy planning. Satya working at Dyson, a group lead there. And, I could give you amazing stories about all of them, and we're extremely grateful. I think we're adding about one a day or something like that. I think, yeah, last one I remember was from Philippines. So very exciting. And you can see some of the locations, and as you can imagine, it's already outdated. Probably would have to update them almost every day. Just a quick word as well. We have a supporter program. It's something, we have over 20 people. So it's really another outdated slide. Some really fantastic people like Beatrice and Florian, who work at big law firms and help us really on the legal front, which is fantastic. People like Slaven, who does the global branding for Nike and Converse and helps us on our branding as well. And Dario, and those are all volunteers, just believing in, we don't have much time left. We have a climate crisis ahead of us and already in it. And yeah, just people pulling together the resources. And another really fantastic of them is actually Gerard Reed, who I'm going to introduce in a bit, who's also involved in this BatteryMBA program. And yeah, one amazing thing is, you start as kind of like, passionate people about the common mission, and then you become friends. I think it's a quite common development we have seen over the time. A quick thing here about the advisory board as well is to, maybe just a quick hint, we're quite credible. This is something people putting in names to us, and we can see on LinkedIn as well. We have people like Claudia, who some of you maybe have seen on Wednesday on our webinar. She's the CEO of Siemens Oman, another wonderful person I met through the WEF. Oliver, another person I actually met through the WEF. He was our community manager at the time. He works currently at ABB, working on preventing blackouts for grids. And yeah, he's a really fantastic guy as well. Porvi, our business school, Mark, designed the MBA for Cambridge, University of Cambridge, where I was, and he did his PhD there as well. And now he works in another education company in the US. Really, really great guy to be involved in this kind of programs. Marie, she was under her degree in research and postdocs and batteries in the leading groups. And now she's at EH in Switzerland. Carlson, computer science background, was at Google, Microsoft, now at Dropbox. Ashley, she's a Harvard Business School professor, researching how, like, happiness, essentially, how time and purpose and money influence your happiness. And I can already give you a hint. It's not money, which is the most important one at the end of the day. It's important to some degree. There's a plateau, but everything beyond that, it's time and purpose. And of course, she would say it in way better words than I would. And she actually wrote a book, so you can read her book. Matthias was at BMW for the data, now at Allianz Insurance. Reem is at the British Consulate in the UK, for the UK in the US. Michael runs a battery consultancy in Switzerland. Bavia was a tester for a few years. She's also one of our instructors here and lecturers. She's a Fulbright now on recycling and these kind of topics. She's fantastic at many level. We have Finn on a battery startup in London. Christian, a professor or lecturer at NYU and LSE. And yeah, also book author and researching serendipity, which is something I believe in personally quite a lot. Amy was a tester for over 4 years, working on the supercharging for Europe and then in Asia. Now got an education company in China. And then Matthias also works at Custom Cell, which is one of the really exciting battery companies in Germany. And this is only half of the board. There's actually another half to be announced in a few weeks. Anyways, that's a lot about us, and I think it's only just fair to kind of get to know you a bit, and we get to know each other as well. So I would like to ask Almandi now to please fire up the first poll. And this is really the idea, to kind of get to know us a bit better. Perfect. Thank you, Almandi. And I will give this maybe like 30 seconds or something, and I will get a drink something maybe in the train. I think about 50% voted. Maybe there might be a bit more people want to vote today. Okay, 3 people voted. Let's give it another, I think we're now at 75%. Let's give it another 10, 15 seconds. And otherwise, let's just close the poll for now. Okay, Medina, I think we should just close it if you want to share it as well. Okay, we can see most people are from Europe and Asia as well. It's good. Engineering, science background, that's exactly what this BatteryMBA is for. It's great to see. And entry level is also, I think, a very good fit. So yeah, you're a good audience. Thank you for putting this in. I'll just, okay. And now, Medine, if you want to fire up the second one, I can do it as well if you want. You want to try? Just go on the top on you. Yeah, perfect. These are the only 2 for now, so it'd be great if you just fill them out, and then we're going to move to the next step. %, so maybe we can wait a few more, maybe some more people can fill it in. Be great. Okay, so I guess if this is for now, then let's close the poll now. Okay. Brilliant. Okay, that's good to see. So we are today a bit smaller, I think I would say, than last time. Yeah, so last time we had mainly big companies, so today smaller ones. That's, I think, it's fair to see that as well. Great. No, I think, today we got a startup, so glad for that. Brilliant. Okay, let's close the polls for now. And thank you so much. Now, actually, I want to say there's a Q&A feature. So if you go on the Q&A and feel free to put already in all your questions so we can make sure we answer them. And also our esteemed panel speaker, Gerard Reed, he's very keen to answer some of your questions. So feel free to just, drop in any questions you have either now or later. Brilliant. Okay, so Bunny, are you still there? You are. Perfect. If you just want to take it over from now.
Oops, I was speaking with muted, the typical problem online.
I will be muted now.
Hello again, everyone. So thanks, Simon, for introducing Battery Associates. And now the most important part of the session today about BatteryMBA. So I would like to start with the why. So why in the first place do we have this course, right? Like, why did we start this BatteryMBA? And yeah, why also people should join this course. So first of all, we know that there are a lot of battery experts out there who are great with their technical skills, and we need that. Definitely the world needs that, but also to excel and to really add value to the business, it's very important in today's world to have a strong business acumen, right? Having the technical skills, definitely very useful. But when we have this coupled with a business knowledge that always takes your career higher, also adds more value to an organization. And that was also one reason why I did my master's on top of my technical profile. So this is kind of a basic need, I feel, of the world today. And and especially in this area of energy and mobility, I think this is an important step to really take your career and also the industry one step higher. And on the top of that, our objective is to really ensure that anyone in this world, from any part of the world basically, can have access to a business program, right? So we wanted to make it affordable. We wanted to make it something simple. We wanted to make it a bit more practical than just theoretical knowledge, right? So in universities and all, definitely we have theory, but we wanted to learn from real people, real insights, coming directly from the industry. It's changing these days a lot. So that's why we put in place this course to adapt to your needs, right? What exactly do you need? It's very personalized. It's very adaptive. We are very agile. We're definitely, changing every day and adapting to what the industry needs, what you need, as the battery experts. So what do we offer? So this course is made something very simple. We wanted to have it very impactful, yet very simple in terms of the structure, in terms of what and how the course is being done. Then also can you go back to the slide before? Sorry, Amanda. Yeah. And one important thing for us is the quality, right? When we make it, affordable, while we make it simple, we did not want to compromise on the quality. So that's why we have this premium instructors. We are having someone today very special who's going to talk to you with, talk about, some valuable things to help you make a decision as well. So definitely we all never compromise on quality. We have people coming from the big names of the industry like Tesla, Google, from leading academic and research institutes such as Harvard, Cambridge, UC Berkeley. I mean, Simon himself, bring a lot of expertise and experience from such, academic backgrounds. So definitely we really take care of that. And as I mentioned, we wanted it to be very affordable. Definitely not everyone can afford 100,000 euros on a business course, and also like the commitment that's needed for a full-time, let's say, MBA or executive course. So this is a fast-tracked course. This is really adapted to what is needed to grow, to ensure that your technical skills are well coupled with the required business skills, and you can grow further. So this is why we actually have this course, and this is why you should actually be part of it, right? So then moving on. So how does it look like, right? So how would a week look like? So for now, what we have is that on Mondays, we are going to have for 1 hour, there's a lecture plus chat with the industry leaders. As we said, that we have great lineup for our instructors. So we're going to have, you're going to have 30 minutes of lecture, and the instructors are not going to just talk, about the technical part, but also, entrepreneurship, industry related skills, negotiation skills, and other business skills. And that's going to be a very insightful 30 minutes with great people, extremely talented and expertise people from the industry. Plus, there will be a 30 minutes of Q&A session with them. And I think this is more important than the first 30 minutes, personally, I feel, because this is where you can actually, ask your questions, which is very personalized again. And, you can basically ask anything. It will be an honest conversation with them. So take advantage of this 30 minutes. And so this is very, as I said, that it's very adaptive, and to ensure that you can benefit the maximum from the course and from the people that are there. Then on Thursdays and Fridays, we're going to have office hour, and this is going to be with Simon himself. So as I said, he himself comes with a huge, expertise in terms of his background. He's from Cambridge. He brings expertise from he's part of World Economic Forum, and not just in terms of battery and energy and all. He also has a lot of knowledge in different aspects. So feel free to basically ask him anything and everything, and he'll be there to answer your questions for 1 hour. It can range from, as I said, from technical skills to business skills to leadership skills, or personal any questions if you have. If you want to get in touch with our industry leaders, the speakers, he has a huge network of people, of course, as you could see, as part of our advisory board and so on. So definitely, if you need contact, he's always there to support you in the best possible way. So this, we really want to ensure that you get all the benefits, from the people that we have in our MBA program. And not just these three things, we also have on top of that, and as soon as you join this course, you're going to be part of this huge network. And this is valuable for your entire life, because as you see, we have great people out there, and we are there to help you connect to them. So as soon as you are part of this program, you get an unlimited membership to our network. You'll be part of a Slack channel. You can have all the lectures there, and not just this lectures which you join, but then all the future lectures. We're going to have other great speakers. So you can access all the information from now on to the, to forever, let's say. So, and this is extremely, extremely useful. I think things are changing every day, right? And we need not just how things are changing, and how can we really be part of the change and drive the change. So this is very important that we get in touch with the people who are out there, and follow them, understand from them, talk to them. And these are some of the, I would say, more intangible yet more valuable things that this program offers. So, and how do we really, differentiate us from a conventional MBA, right? We said that it's a fast-tracked course. It's going to be for 3 months. So we are launching it in January. So from January to March, it's a 3 months program. And it is, who is it for, right? So this is for the people, for the battery enthusiasts with technical backgrounds who want to excel in their career in the business field, they want to really be a leader, right? The future leaders. We help those people, those enthusiasts, to be the future leader with the right knowledge, right skills, right network. So, and how do we differ from them? So we have, as you can see, that this course is really well crafted to meet the business needs for the battery experts. So it's not any conventional MBA, all the things that's being taught for over 1 year or 2 years program, but it's more that we are the first business-oriented executive program, which is designed specially for battery specialists. So all topics covered are addressed within the specificities of the energy and battery space in mind. So it's very, very well cultivated to meet your needs and the battery industry needs, and not just in general any other business program. And we also, as Simon mentioned, for us, the focus is on people, on network. So we really want to ensure that you benefit from the people you understand. We really care about the network and the people we bring in. So we want you to be part of it and continue to be part of this family or the network of people that we create. Moving on. Sorry, I think I'm getting a little worse. Maybe I would need Simon to jump in. So yeah, so before I think I'm pretty much done with this part. So I would like to just introduce you to our speaker now, who's going to be one of our instructors for BatteryMBA. I think I can talk for us about this person. I'm pretty sure all of you already know him. He needs no introduction. He's Jared, who is the co-founder at Alexa Capital. He is also part of World Economic Forum's Future Energy Council. He's also a writer, an author, and whatnot. I think we can, as I said, can talk about him for us. But rather than mentioning about him, I would let you all hear from the man himself. So over to you, Jared. I don't know, Simon, if you want to add something before, or do we give it over to him?
Oh, let's go. Let's take Gerard, take it away. You know, he's amazing as he is. So yeah, maybe Gerard, thank you so much for coming on, first of all.
My pleasure.
Always good to see you. And yeah, maybe, you know, if you could just share a bit about yourself, you know, just some of your insights. I mean, you know, we could make an entire webinar just about your insights easily, which is one of the reasons why we're so grateful to have you as an instructor and lecturer. But just maybe a bit about yourself, and then some of the things you think is maybe overlooked, and what are some of the things you could teach our cohort.
Yeah, so I suppose I better sort of put my background in context, or put myself in context, really, so that people can understand where I'm coming from. Because what I'd like to do is just make this, I don't have slides or anything like that, so I'd like to make this interactive and just really be able to sort of put myself in a position to answer your questions, to help you people going forward. So I come from a completely different world. I'm not from the science world. I'm from the world of finance. And but the interesting thing is about the world of finance is, what do you do in finance is most of it is what you're doing is you're deploying capital, and you're trying to deploy it in as efficient a way as possible, which actually means that you need to understand the technologies and the business models and the market. You have to do it, because otherwise you're going to make very bad decisions in terms of what you do with money. And I've sort of been in this space, if you'd like to say, this whole energy technology area for the last almost 20 years. I was asked, I was a technology analyst. What that meant was my job was to advise investors about where to put their money on the public markets. That's what I did. And about in 2003, somebody asked me to look at a solar company, and I looked at the solar company, thought it was a bit of a joke, to be honest. I thought, wow, this technology is never going to go anywhere. And actually, I met the entrepreneur team behind the solar company, and they sort of persuaded me, actually, no, this could change the world. And that sort of got me into this energy technology area. And at that point in time, it then suddenly became clean technology, it was called. And I suppose I built my expertise up over, let's say, over the last 15 years in and around that area. So what does that mean, expertise? Well, expertise is, as I said, really understanding the market drivers, what's going on in terms of where capital is flowing, and also then in terms of what's happening with new technologies and what could happen in the future, right? Because if you spend your time looking at capital flows and technologies, I think you have a fair idea of what might happen in the future. And that's sort of by way of background. And what I do now is I'm in what's called corporate finance. So I'm a partner in Alexa Capital, and what we do is we advise businesses how to raise capital. We advise them on how to maybe restructure their capital base. And we also help big companies actually and big investors make investment decisions, right? So really, we're a middleman in between sort of capital flows in this whole energy technology area. And that's what I do, right? And so what does that mean? Well, what that means is sort of, is that it gives me, I think, a good overview of, as I said, what's going on globally. So let me just give you my view of what's going on in the energy space. Well, I think actually we're going to go through over the next decade the biggest revolution we've seen in the energy world since the beginning of the 20th century. And if we go back to the beginning of the 20th century, what do we have? Well, what we had actually was we had two revolutions, really. We had oil, and secondly, we had electricity, right? And if we went back 100 years ago, what we ended up doing is actually, if you look, it was it was not really clear if we were going to electrify transport or we're going to use the internal combustion engine. Well, to be honest, really, Henry Ford changed all that, right? Because what he did was he mass produced a low cost price car in the form of the Model T. And what we had was, if you like to say that the 20th century, if you look at it from a geopolitical point of view, the wealth of a nation was built on those countries that embraced this internal combustion engine and the resources around it. So if you take the case of North America, it still is today, 100 years on, it's an oil and gas country based in and around the internal combustion engine. That was where the wealth in the United States was. Actually, if we look in the rest of the world, it was sort of the same thing, right? China, the same, Japan embraced the internal combustion engine, produced a big industry in and around this. Europe, the same thing, Germany, right? Automobile industry here. And also then it's not a surprise today, if you look at the big oil and gas companies, they still are actually really, a lot of them, BP, Shell, ExxonMobil, they're still in North America and Europe, right? It's a huge wealth creation we saw out of this. And obviously it also enabled countries like Saudi Arabia to become wealthy and industrialize themselves over the last, whatever, 50 years. So I'm very clear the wealth of the nations, the differing wealth of nations across the world in the 20th century was a large part to do with energy, right? Now, if I look today, I say, well, actually, we've got the same thing going on because we've got an energy revolution and a transport revolution. So we moved from a horse and cart to the internal combustion engine. And today I'm very clear in my head that we moved from the internal combustion engine to electric engine, right? Now, if you move to an electric engine, that's very interesting. Then you say, well, actually, what happens with all this electricity? Where does it come from? Well, you're going to renewablize the electrical area, right? Now, that's quite interesting. Why are you going to do this? Well, you're going to do it, one, obviously, I think the main driver up to now has been, if you think for solar and wind, it's been all about getting, it's all about climate change and pollution, right? That's what it's been about. But actually, we got to a point now where, as you begin to electrify and transport and whatever, it's not just about cleaning up the economy. It's also about the fact we need electricity, right? And so they say, well, where do you get the electricity from? You use the lowest cost form of electricity. And a large part of the world actually today it's solar, right? And a large part of the world is wind. So you got these two low cost technologies, but the issue with the two of them is they're intermittent. So that means, okay, well, what do you do at night when the sun's not there? What do you do when there's no wind there? You have a storage issue, right? And there is no way around this, right? We have a storage issue and we have to deal with it, right? But I would just say that it's not a huge issue because I hear a lot of people say, oh, it's a big issue, oh man, storage. I go, we have storage in place already, right? I mean, I've got wood logs that are in my cellar, right? So I can burn them for heating in the house, right? There's oil tanks there. We get gas pipelines. We have an infrastructure in place for storage already, right? The one thing about electricity is it has to be converted into another form of energy to be stored, right? So you can't just leave it like you can oil in a tank. You have to convert it into something else, and that makes it a little bit trickier. And that goes back then to batteries and other forms of chemical storage, right? And I look at this and I say, well, actually, this is it's the key to unlocking this future world. It really is a key. And if you look, what I find quite interesting from my perspective, looking at a market, if I look at countries that understood this and regions, it was number one, it was China, right? So if you look at what China has done, it's electrified its economy over the last 10 years. It is China, in terms of what it's added to its power capacity in its own country, is equivalent to what Europe did over the last 100 years. Just realize the extent of what China has done. It's ginormous, right? But the reason they've done this is because they realize actually the future is electricity, right? And that's clear to all of us because, listen, I don't care if I don't have oil or gas. I do care if I can't charge my battery on my mobile phone, right? That's what I care about. And that's what all of us care about. Electricity is the most controllable form of energy we have. And so we will electrify increasingly our economy. The Chinese get this. And that's why today, if you look in actually in the battery space, the Chinese really are way ahead of, you know, maybe I'll add South Korea and Japan to it, but if I compare it to the Western world, they're way ahead. And the reason they're way ahead is because they took this decision that, hey, guys, we're going to have to electrify our world and batteries are going to be important. And if I look at the value chain for batteries today, right, if you go and you want to get your hands on lithium, yeah, the lithium mines aren't in China, but actually, if you want to get the processed raw material, it's coming from China, right? If you want to get graphite, it's coming from China. So they've wrapped up the whole value chain, which is very, very interesting. Now, what this means is if you're sitting in Munich and you're, you know, you're an automobile producer, you're looking at this and going, oh my God, the core component in this automobile going forward is coming from China, right? You know, it used to be the internal combustion engine and it came out of Germany and now it's coming out of China. Oh, what are we going to do? And what actually has happened is, you know, is competition has picked up. And what you're seeing is an unleashing of innovation in this electrification of transport area that I think is going to be pretty incredible over the next years. And I think all of us look at the space and sort of say, you can look at lithium ion and how much lithium ion batteries and factories are being put in place. But actually, I'm really excited about the next decade because the innovation that's going to take place, because I've just talked about Europe and China. I have to add in, obviously, Tesla. I have to add in the United States. And we've got India as well, who's, let's be clear, is a sleeping giant. Now, if all those parties start competing with each other, that drives innovation. And that driving of innovation, as I said, really makes for an exciting world. And if I look going forward, again, if you look back at the 20th century, the wealth, as I said to you, of most of the Western world was built around oil, gas, internal combustion engine. In the 21st century, batteries are going to be a critical part of wealth generation. And again, just have to look at Tesla, right? Elon Musk, I think now is one of the richest men in the world. Why? Oh, you know, he's revolutionizing the world. That's what he's done. I have to talk about him as well, because what he did, and I remember looking at his first Tesla 15 years ago. I mean, it was basically a Lotus converted into an electric car. Didn't think much of it. But I mean, what he's done in this really conservative industry that hasn't changed in 100 years is amazing, right? And it's not just about the batterification of the automobile, it's also the digitalization of the automobile. And he's unleashed a revolution. And listen, if I was coming out of university these days, I would only be going into one industry, and that would be the industry that all you guys are focusing on, right? Because the opportunity is ginormous. Anyway, I could keep going on, but I'll stop there. Simon, I don't know if you have any questions or if anybody else has questions.
First of all, thank you so much. I mean, just love it. I think you just put it every time, and I think I told you this before. Always put it to the point, which is just remarkable every single time. And I think one of the reasons why you're sitting in all those committees you are, because you're always the one who kind of synthesizes it all and puts it together. I think I don't see any concrete question right now, but I think one thing is, I'm just also about timing, right? Because I think, as you say now, if you would start off now, you would focus on this one. But I remember, I think it was about 2 years ago, maybe in Davos, or was it 2.5, right? Something like that, right? Where we were like in this, we were fortunate. I mean, you are there more often than I am, but we were fortunate. And we had this chat about, the automotive industry and, BMW and these kind of companies. And I mean, looking back, there was no indication that what happens right now would happen, right? I think we had this discussion that, and honestly, till half a year, I probably thought, the Chinese will just dominate everything. They're going to take everything hostile. Like, they will have all the supply chains covered. There won't be any chance for Europe at all. But now we can see, these elements of Tesla next to Berlin saying biggest battery production in the world, all these new all the big Chinese players coming to Germany, all this to Europe. I mean, you cannot predict these things, right? But I think, what do you think? What do you do? Because I know you think a lot about the future, right? That's, I guess, your business, a lot to think about where things going. What is the best way to do that? Yeah.
Well, just on your point on what we talked about 2 years ago, if you look what China has as a competitive advantage, what they have is they also have the resources sewn up, right? They have sewn up access to resources. Now, by the way, that's very interesting because the positive side of this is what the United States did at the beginning of the 20th century. They had all the oil and they had the automobile industry. But if you actually went to Europe, we didn't have the oil, right? But we still created a great automobile industry. And that's what I would say is the opportunity. There is, of course, an opportunity for, again, Europe and India to really take part in this huge opportunity over the next years. It's not that, we've lost China, China's done it, et cetera, et cetera. What's very clear, and I think all of us believe this, is that individuals make a difference. So Elon Musk has changed our world, right? There's just no way around it. An individual from South Africa, right? And I think all of us, certainly it's a core belief for me that individuals make a difference. That's why it's not about, oh yeah, India has 1.3 billion people and China 1.5 billion, we've no chance. It's not. It's all about, we have to be clever in the way we do things, and we've got great minds across the world, as I said, competing with each other. And I think this is, as I said, it's going to be very, very, very exciting. There's going to be a lot of surprises over the next years. But I think the one thing I would say is the speed of this transition is speeding up. It's not slowing down, right? And that's the message I would say to everybody else. And the countries that are slow in transitioning, they're in trouble, right? They really are in trouble, right? And I would definitely be cautious about certain countries, and I won't name them, just because they're blocking change rather than embracing change, right? I mean, yeah. The only strategy with new technology is to embrace it. You cannot block it. It's just no chance, right? Okay. And maybe I think you guys, because you're all technical guys, you probably understand that. But most people don't understand that. They think, oh, I can keep blocking the change. And so go back to the issue that that if I look at the automobile industry in Europe, we've done ourselves a very bad disservice, because if we were sitting here in 2008, the German automobile industry was telling European Union and the German government that the future is hydrogen. And they used this as a blocking strategy. So, the German government put in money into hydrogen stations. There are hydrogen stations in Berlin, for example. There's still not a hydrogen car on the market from the German automobile industry or the European industry. And the crazy thing about it was, there's a whole pile of European Union money went into hydrogen. Well, guess what? Why didn't it go into lithium ion? Right? Really stupid decision. Really stupid. If I'm as a commercial guy, I understand that you want to block change, but you also have to embrace it, the same thing. If they'd have blocked blocked lithium ion, and in the background went and sort of did work on lithium ion and batteries and stuff, that would have been okay. They didn't do it, Simon. They didn't do it. And that's why they're all in panic trying to catch up today. And you see this as I come from the finance world, I look at the market capitalization, the value of Tesla. It's 500 billion, right? Why is it 500 billion? Because the finance world is saying the future is Tesla, and you BMW, you Daimler, and you Volkswagen, you're all in trouble. And they are in trouble, okay? Now, can they change? Can they embrace this change and go forward? It needs your generation to go in and change them, because, I mean, the guys who are my age or older that are leading in these businesses, what they're brought up is they're mechanical engineers, right? So they have spent their time, dealing with an internal combustion engine. They love it. They love getting their hands dirty, and now you're telling them, get rid of that piston, get rid of that exhaust system, and put in a simple electric engine. It's tough for them. Really tough cultural changes,
Yeah, no, I can see that. But as you say, what I like about you also is, I think you're very, I saw this great Adam Grant, quote about, there are pessimists who see the glass half empty, optimists who see the glass half full, and then there are proactive people who refill the glass in the time you've been discussing about it, so it's full. Thank you for that. You're welcome. And I think you're one of the last for sure. But at the same time, you're also optimistic, which is good. And yeah, I think we had this discussion, right? I think many people see this as a threat. We see it as an opportunity, right? I think it's a remarkable opportunity. It's a remarkable opportunity for an economy. I think for the financial standpoint, right, it's opening up so many now floodgates of new innovation and new products, etc. And it's also opening up a new opportunity for our generation, right? To kind of make a change, because there's now all these empty seats kind of to be filled, right? To kind of people have to fill them, because we have now seen Elon Musk opened up, hundreds of new positions in his own company, but also at all the other competing companies, because they all have to now compete with him, and they know they need people who can compete, right? So I think it's for someone who just starts out, it's a remarkable timing in their career.
It's a remarkable time, and I think what's also very interesting in all of it is I live outside Berlin, right? So the Tesla factory is very close to me. This region's going to boom, right? And the reason it's going to boom is not just because of Tesla, but also Berlin itself is a hotbed for innovation, right? Now, no offense, but if I go to southern Germany, I go to Stuttgart, I go, oh my God, you're in trouble. I mean, one, who wants to live there? Going forward as a young person, sorry, who wants to go there, right? Because you've got the old 20th century industry there, right? Okay. And secondly, they're going to go through massive restructuring over the next decade, right? So as I said, for Berlin, this region, it is amazing because there's no automobile industry. There's no conventional industry here, right? So they have a great opportunity here to look at it. And if you look at it, the opportunity in automobile is massive, because it's not just batteryfication of the world or the electrification of the automobile, the digitalization of the automobile. We are going to move to autonomous travel. The whole area of services in and around this are all tech-based, right? You need a different type of mindset and stuff like that here. So, as I said, very excited. I'm very happy I'm living where I'm living, right?
No, I mean, I cannot wait that there's a better connection to your place. Kind of make easier to visit you again. But also, yeah, I mean, as a Berliner myself, I'm super stoked about all these developments, but at the same time, I think, I'm living in Munich now, as you know, and I mean, the view and like the mountains. I think Munich will have a place, but I'm absolutely with you. I think, it's a different crowd, right? Like, I mean, it's always has been kind of the joke that like the vehicle is like a phone on wheels, a laptop on wheels, right? But at the end of the day, it is. So, a place like Berlin, where also like the tech and the software, like, this is like the heart of it, right? Tech and software. That's actually much more relevant than, like maybe some engineering knowledge. Of course, and the one thing it's kind of needs now, which is this kind of, technical knowledge of battery engineering and like science, etc., right? This is what Tesla's bringing now, right? Like with like, they want to do all the development there because they know they get all the good talent. They know they can get all the Germans who now get very low salary compared to what they will offer. So yeah, it's super exciting. Just thinking about the time, I think we probably, although I want to, you know me, we could talk for hours, and we have, but for today, maybe it makes sense we kind of close it here. I'm super grateful again for you being involved in this.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, it's, I think, and also, as you say, I know you're a big believer in kind of education and empowering the next generation kind of doing this transition. So I know that's close to your heart, so it's also very good.
It's very close. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm an ex-educator. I did want to be, I was a teacher. I wanted to become a professor, and my career went a different path. But it is very, very important to give back and to explain to people what's going on and excite people about the opportunity, rather than, no offense, but just, having pictures of polar bears dying on the ice caps. That's not a good message. The better message is, this is a great opportunity. Let's make our world a better place, right? And that's what excites me going forward. So I'm quite happy to have taken part in this, Simon. If I can help in any other way going forward, you know where I am. I
know you are where you are, and I will take you up on that one. Thank you, Gerard. Thanks so much. Okay, then let's just finish it up for now. If you want to turn off your video again, and I know you're a very busy man. You're the next meeting lined up. Also, I will reach out to you afterwards quickly.
No problem.
Perfect. Thank you. Brilliant. This was fantastic as always. Let me quickly go back to our slides. Okay, so we got another 6 minutes or so. I mean, first of all, I hope you agree Gerard is a wonderful person and a wonderful, knowledgeable person. I could listen to him many hours, as I said, and I've been very fortunate to learn a lot from him, and I'm extremely excited he will share some of his, insights with you all. So let's talk about, the course. So there's actually a special offer right now because we are starting off. And maybe a quick thing is, I always took the first course. So my undergrad and even my master's and PhD in Cambridge has always been the first time they ever kind of taught this course. So I personally have been in this position. I personally still believe it's the best cohort. Slightly biased here, but of course, I've been talking about this with my professors also, and they would always tell me that the first year is usually a very special year because it's just, these are the adventurous ones. These are the ones actually, they're so passionate, they want to make it happen, and they're willing to put in the work. And yeah, it makes a very special group usually. And I'm sure it won't be any different here. And yeah, so if you now sign up within the next 24 hours, it's going to cost only 500 euros instead of 1,000. So like literally 50% off, which I think is a very generous offer. You don't want to miss out on these. We take, only the first ones. We kind of do that just to kind of, get people in. And later on it's going to be 1,000 euros. So, if you want to wait, that's fair. You do what you want to do. But if you go quick, that's good. And also, I want to say, right, so Bunny talked about this. So essentially every lecture we're going to record, we're going to post it right in the Slack. So it's a really community, right? So there are many other programs where the program ends when the course finishes. It's not going to be the case like this here. It's really going to be the way that we're going to, you're going to grow together. So you're going to stay in the Slack after the course. You're going to meet all these new people coming in. You're going to have networking sessions. You're going to meet the new cohorts. You're also going to, see all the new recordings and things. So there's many ways to kind of stay involved. And of course, we are also a battery associates community is quite strong and big and global. So of course, there are many links. And if you want to get involved there, that's always an open door too. Great. And then maybe just one thing, Amelie, if you could just fire up the last two questions, let's quickly go through them. Just to get your thinking again. What do you think is the most valuable asset, or what's the most valuable to you in the BatteryMBA? Okay, give this another minute, 10 seconds or so. Okay, 5 more seconds. Perfect, thank you. So you can see everything seems important, and network is, Claudia, Gerard knows Claudia really well as well. She was in the webinar on Wednesday. She's the CEO of Siemens Oman, also involved in this course, and actually met through the same platform at the BatteryMBA Forum. And she was saying that as well. She did her Wharton MBA, and she always said, the network and the connection is essentially what MBA differentiates, right, from any other program, because just the high level of people we have. We can already tell you we have people signed up from the PhDs at UC Berkeley and batteries and these kind of things. So, Berkeley, a really amazing company. So it's really exciting. Thanks. Can you go to the next question, please, somebody? Okay, that's just the last one. Okay, let's close this one as well. And then let's go to the next slide. Thank you. Okay, so this is just, I like to keep things on time. So, first of all, when we close this webinar, there's actually going to be a feedback question for you. It would be fantastic if you feel in anything. We always like to improve. We always like to make this webinars more useful to you. And we got amazing feedback last time 2 days ago. And I think we already incorporated a few of them. So very grateful for all your insights. And then, of course, to enroll, you got the special referral code, so you can get 50% off. So make use of that. You have 24 hours left, as I say, or also other people you think might be interested. Feel free to share this opportunity with them too. And then also, if you go on the website, battery.mba, there's actually a nice flyer you can download, which gives you a summary of a few of the things we spoke about today. And of course, again, you can share it with anybody you like. And yeah, then just one thing, I see Tara's questions here. Oh, hey, Barney, good to see you. Thanks for sticking around. Just a quick thing also for Tara, your question. Thought your insights into the energy sector were amazing. A quick question: will there be information resource provided by the lecturers as perhaps readings? So I should actually say we're getting quite a sizable team involved who are going to help you also with these kind of things. one thing I can already say, so there's actually something called BatteryNewsletter.com, which is one of our initiatives as well. You can go there and you'll find always up-to-date kind of like, the latest news. It's just an aggregator of battery news around the world. We're actually now also working on our own kind of nicely summary once a month. So this, of course, all of these intelligence things are going to be part of the program. I've been as I mentioned, co-creator for strategic intelligence of the World Economic Forum for 2 years for the batteries section. So I've been, been doing that for 2 years to kind of look at the news. So so we will share some of these insights and some of the things we've been learning there. So yeah, there are going to be lots of material around that. It's not something we put in writing yet because we're still figuring out what's most useful. We're also actually waiting for you, right? Because to be honest, in these time of days, maybe you're interested in one pager, but I don't think you were going to read 20 pages or 30 pages in your week, right? So it's really the question of kind of what is the format you like. Maybe you want to get a quick Q&A. For example, we put some Q&A in and we get an expert to answer them on video. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can do that. And yeah, there are going to be things in between, don't worry. But the kind of cornerstones of the week are kind of set already. And then there's like a lot of moving parts. But that's literally, that's the amazing thing to be in the first year. If you tell us something and, we're happy to help, and we're happy to implement things if it makes sense to everyone. Brilliant. Then let's just Q&A. I think that's what you just did. Barney, do you have anything to say about this question or?
No, I just wanted to, I just turned on my video to say goodbye to everyone, and also add that if you have any questions, any confusion in making a decision or so, feel free to reach out to us. We're there to answer your questions in the next 24 hours or even later. So yeah, just feel free to get in touch with us and ask your questions. If you need any more information, if you can't access the brochure or anything, just reach out to us.
Absolutely, yeah. No, thank you, Barney. I mean, we're super, we try to be as responsive as we can. And so just send us emails. Your email can be found in the invite. And we're probably going to reach out to you again as well. So feel free to stay in touch and don't hesitate for any questions. And technical background, so there's going to be a lot about the business kind of background. As you've seen, of course, there's some technical, like Michael, who's a very technical guy. You're going to talk a bit about more financing as well, and number game of battery materials, etc. So there are going to be some technical elements, but the idea really with this course is it's for people who are not, who have some technical background. And also next year, we're actually going to launch a technical course as well, but it's going to be on demand in a different format. So if you want to go in leadership, if you want to go in industry, if you want to, make a big impact, I think this is the right course for you. And thank you so much again for listening in. We're just about an hour. So I'm happy to be on time. And so this was fantastic again. Thank you all for joining. And I talk to you very soon and hopefully see you in the course starting in January and even before, because if you actually sign up now, the office hours already start all December. So you can, ask me any questions already. And there's quite a nice, maybe mentorship kind of thing going on with some of our speakers. So feel free to sign up ASAP and see you soon. Bye-bye.